Good afternoon, people of Southport. Do you know, before when I was speaking, I was building up to a big reveal, and I completely forgot the reveal, and me with my ADHD brain totally missed the important thing that had been said by somebody. And it was Russell Brand, and it was something that Russell Brand said this very week. I believe Russell Brand's on a journey. I think he's come from like addiction to porn and heroin and drugs and alcohol, and now he's got married, he's got family, and it's great thing. It's great what's happened to him. It's almost like God has helped him in this, and he gives God a lot of credit. But do you know what he said this week that really surprised me about Russell Brand? He said, during Holy Week, this very week, he said, I am amazed, he says, what happened to us as a people when God came down. It reflects a lot about humanity. This is what he said. He said, what does it say? This is Russell Brand this week. He said, what does it say about humanity that when God came down to earth, we killed him? When God came down to earth, we killed him. That's exactly what happened, didn't it? Jesus came down to earth, who is God, and we killed him. We nailed him to a cross. What does that say about us? I'll tell you what it says about us. It tells us that we do not want to be judged by God. We don't want a God ruling our lives. We don't want to listen to what God has to say. We want to do our own thing. We want to live how we want to live. We want to have nothing to do with God. That is why so many people choose not to believe in God. That's why so many scientists reject creation, even though creation is blatantly obvious. I used to have a Brummie friend, and when I used to get things wrong, he'd say, look, Paul, it's blatantly obvious, isn't it? And it is, it's blatantly obvious that creation is true. But the scientists will tell you, no, we came from a pool of slime. Everything just exploded into existence, and here we are. Listen, explosions don't create things. Explosions destroy things, don't they? But that's what the scientists believe. Now, do you know why they believe that? Even though it's ridiculous to believe that a pool of slime could evolve into us today, that we could go from goo to you, it's impossible, isn't it? But the reason they believe it, and they do believe it, it's not like some conspiracy theory, like what my friend was saying here. They not all got together and decided to say, right, let's pretend that this didn't really happen, and let's get it all out there. They want to believe it. They want to believe it. So that's what they do. They want to believe that God isn't real, that we could just come from a pool of slime. And I believe that people will ultimately believe whatever they want to believe, and that is why they reject creation. But God did create the world. That means he created you. That means you've got a purpose. That means you don't just come from nothing and you're going to nothing. You are going to something. All right? And we know that that God is real because we have a conscience. We've got something within us that understands right and wrong. It separates us from the animals, doesn't it? An animal will just go away and he gets hungry and he'll just kill that animal for food. Okay? But we know that that would be wrong, so we don't do it. And the Bible is God's truth to us. If you want to know the truth, you read the Bible. If you want to hear God speaking to you, you read the Bible. Just this morning we have a little bit of laugh about how people said that, oh, have you got a message from God yet? Have you got a message from God yet? And a fellow held out his Bible and said, yeah, I've got loads of messages from God. I've got loads of words from God right here. Do you want to take over the film in there? It's a bit shaky on it. So basically, what we're saying today is, how can we know that Creator God exists and that we just didn't come from a pool of slime? Do you know, I truly believe that if Darwin was around today, he would say, what are you all doing believing that we came from a pool of slime? Charles Darwin would say to us, I didn't know about DNA. As soon as you discovered DNA and how complicated life is and how complex life is, you should have rejected my theory straight away. All I did was prove natural selection, survival of the fittest, microevolution, change within species. So all Darwin discovered was birds get longer beaks over time. He's never proved, and we've never proved, that there's any kind of evolution from one species of animal to another species of animal, from one kind of animal to another kind of animal. And do you know what? He got up in a lecture hall, Charles Darwin, he said, the biggest problem with my theory is evidence. There's just no evidence. Now, he was hoping after he died that we'd all go out there and we'd get digging and we'd find the evidence. But guess what? We found no evidence. There is no fossil evidence. There's no evidence in the fossil record that you can evolve from one kind of animal to another kind of animal. So not only is it not in the fossil record, but that's exactly what we see today as well. We see around us no transitionary beings, do we? We see birds that are birds, we see humans that are humans, we see apes that are apes, we see dogs that are dogs. So use your eyes and look around at what you see. And as you look around and see what you see, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. That what God said in the Bible is true. He created them according to their kinds. Now, God knows all things. He knows that at some point in the future, there was going to be a bunch of people who believed that we all evolved from a pool of slime. I know that because if you read Genesis chapter 1, it keeps saying, and God made them according to their own kind, according to their own kind, according to their own kind. They reproduced according to their own kind. It says it about 7 times over and over and over again. So we get it into our thick skulls that God created everything in the world according to its own kind. And I'm going to astound you now. All right, do you know Noah's Ark?
Our thick skulls, mate. God made us all to be just like him. So if we're dumb, then God is dumb.
No. God made us to be clever. And listen, sir, I want you to be clever. I want you to see these for what it is. I don't know whether you heard that. But basically, the whole of creation tells of God. That's what it says in the Bible. All of creation speaks about God. It actually says that all of the creation reflects the Godhead. What's the Godhead? Anybody know? What do I mean by the Godhead? Any ideas? No? I'm talking about the 3-in-1. The Trinity. God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. And the whole of creation reflects it. You know, it doesn't matter where you go. If you look at light, for example, it's a beam, it's a wave, it's a particle, 3-in-1. It's all light. Look at colours. You can get any colour you like from the spectrum using red, green and blue. If you look at the states of matter, solid, liquid, gas, it's 3, but it's in 1. It's all water, whether it's an ice or it's vapour. It's still water, isn't it? Whether it's a liquid or not, it's still water. And it's just like God, isn't it? Yeah, take some literature, absolutely, sir. So it's just the whole of the Godhead. The whole of creation reflects the Godhead, the 3-in-1. And I'm going to really astound you today, and some of you are just going to walk off when I reveal this, but I believe in a worldwide flood. Is that crazy? I believe that at one point, the whole world was covered in water. Yeah? Oh, there you go, 2 people walked off straight away at that revelation, but hear me out. If the whole world was covered by water at some point, there'd be evidence for it all over the world. Guess what? There is. You can dig down anywhere in the world, even on top of Mount Everest, and you will come to a layer of rock called sedimentary layer. It's all over the world. And guess what it's full of? Fossils of dead things. And how are fossils made? From floods. All over the world. Now, so that's how we can have everything still today. Because what happened at Noah's Ark is all the animals came on board. Noah and his wife and the 3 sons and their 3 wives came on board, 8 people, and we started again from those 8 people. The ark was a symbol of safety. Noah was a symbol of a righteous man that everybody flocked to. People came to Noah. People came to Noah and said and gave him grief and said, "You are nuts believing the world's going to get flooded." So they walked away and they ignored the message. Animals came to Noah and they got on board the ark. And they said, "You know what? This is the only place of safety." They're not daft animals. They'll go to a place of safety. But they also believed God told them to go, and in they went. And he only needed 2 dogs, male and female dog. And then you can have that microevolution within all the dog kinds to get all the different animals that you can. So all that Darwin discovered, going back to what Darwin discovered, was microevolution within the species, but no evidence from one kind of change to another kind of change. That's what we see today. But the other thing I want to tell you about Noah's Ark is there was only one door. There was one door to Noah's Ark, and that was the way of salvation. When the flood waters came down, the judgment came down. Literally one door. Do you know there's one door for you to be saved from the judgment? From the judgment, the wrath of God, there's one door, and his name is Jesus Christ. And he said it himself. He said, "I am the door. You want to be saved? You come to Jesus. You want to get to heaven? You go through Jesus, who is the door of salvation. And that's the message of hope we've got here today for the people of Southport. Please do come and take some literature. I would love that you could find God today like this leaflet says. So please do come and take a leaflet off me. Thank you for listening.